Hey guys, just want to throw something in here before the get too deep into this video and all that fun stuff. Right now, times are pretty trying with all the places shutting down and all that. But figure a little scripture that I've seen it's came up in about everywhere I could think of. I've heard it in church. I heard it Sunday school. I've heard it had it sent to me in a devotional. And if I'm not mistaken, it come up as a daily verse on my Bible app. That's 2 Timothy 1:7. Now I'm going to say it the best I can to my memory, but uh, the Lord or God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and I don't remember what the last part, so forgive me on that, but peace of mind or sound mind or however you want to word it that way. But just wanted to throw that out there. Stay strong in the times. Keep your faith in the Lord, and He'll pull you through. Break to it. Out of my way, nations! All right, well, we're back here in the shop again. The old car's still waiting on my bumper and nose to get back. Other than that, we're back in the shop. Just something real quick. These old spoiler tips, that's what you want to call them. Instead of throwing them away, I'm going to throw them over in my pile of odd and end templates and stuff like that. Something on my list to clean up later on, but I figured we'd see what we got from Summit. First off, most importantly, we got stickers. There, anybody knows me knows I like my stickers. Go up here in my sticker collection. But also got a new cap. Got a come with a coil cover too, and it's got the holders for the plug wires. I've always with these Excel wires and MSD brand wires, I've always had issues with them coming loose. Typically on the distributor themselves. Something that I'm kind of doing a product plug in here. Get them out of there. Summit brand spark plug wires. I ran these on the modified and ran them on this car too. And I didn't seem to have the issue of them coming loose on me the way I've had other brands. It's really good wire. I had one hit a header last year and I thought it burnt through because the car started cutting out real bad. Well, it was dying on me going around the track, and I thought it was shorting out, and needless to say, that wasn't the issue. Most importantly, we got new belts. I know I said stickers are pretty important, but these belts are in the car. I think they're stamped 4, maybe 5 years old. I needed to replace them last year. I was kind of one of those plans. I had never planned on running more than twice, actually, maybe 3 times most. They're not in terrible shape. They're a decent brand of belt. I got some hanging up there that were decent I could have used, but time to upgrade belts a little bit, put new ones in. They're not high dollar Simpsons or anything like that, but we'll get them put in this weekend probably and see where we can go. Now, something I'm just going to throw out there with the belts. There's little tags on there, and something I kind of noticed with these, they make it pretty specific of, kind of give them an expiration date on them. Now, a lot of tracks will say 2 to 3 years on belts. Those are good until, as you see, 2022. See if I can find a tag on these old belts. As you can see, these, I just kind of mark them a little bit. I don't even know if these have been marked. Yeah, I guess I got a 2015 marking on them. So they were a little past their days. Like I said, they're coming out of the car regardless, one way or the other this year. I wasn't planning on running at all with those belts in it. But that's just something to look forward to. I kind of like the new safety tags on these, the expiration dates. Make it a lot easier to figure things out. We're going to go ahead and change out the caps real quick. We're going to take the old cap with the wires and we're going to put them over to the side. They will be taken to the track as spares for the season. Once I get to that point, put them over there on a shelf. But we will keep them with us. I'll have to get the quill out of there. So let's go over and get it. But we will, like I said, we're going to keep this. We're going to take the cap and the wires and all that. It'll go to a track with us and be extras in case we need it. Never hurts to keep good old stuff around. If it's broke, throw it away. If it's reusable, keep it. Now these little bushings, you can see, I'll show you here. Kind of hard to, camera won't zoom on it, but that's a brass bushing. It just sets down that little hole, and then you put the rubber insulator over the top of it. At least that's how I do it. Some people do it differently, but that's how I was always taught to do it. As you can see, it'll poke through on the bottom. And that goes down, and that'll make contact on top of the rotor. Now I've got to say, that red and blue mixture, that looks pretty decent. I still got to button it all up, but most importantly, I guess I need to push the magic button and see if we got it all in the right order. Just something to think about. You start your car up, turn the fuel on. Now I didn't really do nothing fancy, just as you can see, basic zip ties. Figured got a red cap, blue wires, might as well use the white zip ties, but yeah, I don't do nothing fancy. Zip ties work just fine with what I'm doing, so that's a wrap on the wires, cap and wires, I should say. Everything works as it should, so we'll move on to the next project. All right, we're back at it. Gonna try to do the belts today. Got the old shoulder harnesses out. And to be truthful with you, belts can be a pain in the rear. Probably why I wasn't too much in a hurry last year to change them, because I really wasn't planning on running, but we're going to fight with these things and try to get them all in there. We'll let you see it when we're done. All right. As you can see, we're in the car right now. Grab a phone. Testing the belts out. Going with red. Kind of wanted to change it up a little bit this year. figure red would be easier to see in dark pits to start with. I was kind of sitting in the car, got my legs on, my feet on the pedals. If you've never done belts before, one mistake that I made last year was I got the car, put the seat in it, kind of sat in it in the shop here, and didn't really leave myself any room for my suit when I got in the car at the track. So my first trip out in the car, I was running late anyway because I'd burned my starter up somehow or another, but we had to fight with getting a starter on, and I was jumping in the car trying to get going, fighting with belts, and the what I call the nut crusher belt was a little too short, and I wouldn't quite reach up for me to hook my belt. So just something to think about. Kind of get in the car before you get to the track, before you got your suit on, or you can run in the house, put your suit on, and come out, jump in the car, whatever you need to do to test your belts. But when it comes down to it, you want to test them. Make sure you fit. You got room to loosen the belts, tighten the belts, whatever you need to do before you get to the track. But we're going to jump out of here and go try something different. Now, as I said before, I don't run high dollar Simpson stuff in my car. I've been in some pretty violent crashes, upside down, hit the wall in about every direction I could hit it, sometimes wide open. I don't run the high dollar stuff. Then we'll move the camera here. This RCI brand, I've ran it for several years now. I've had it in the modified. Those belts are out of the modified. I've ran them in my mini stocks. Not saying they're the best belt on the market, but I think you get, for your money's worth, you're going to get what you pay for. Matter of fact, some people say cheaper ain't always better. I'm still alive, so I think Simpsons go for well over $100 for a cheaper set of belts for them. And you can pick these up for 70, 80 bucks, somewhere in that price range. So just wanted to throw that out there for you. All right. Kind of rare shop weekend, I guess. Out here 3 days in a row tinkering around. But even though we don't have front bumper and nose yet, we're going to go ahead and put the body bracing onto the doors and rear quarters. Get rid of those old, at least the passenger side has, the angle on it is wrinkled up pretty good, twisted. So I figured we might as well just go ahead and replace that. Figure if I cut them about the same, at least the new piece the same length as the old piece, I should be pretty close. I can adjust once I get the nose and fenders and all that started on it. So really kind of at a standstill on the front end and getting fenders, and not necessarily worried about the hood. I think I'm going to try to reuse the old hood and the scoop and all that off of it, but we're going to dig into this. As you can see, we cut the new piece out already. And to stay put, the old piece, slightly bent, ain't terrible for the most part. It lines up pretty good. Just a small piece is bent. You could probably put it in, warm it up, put it in a metal brake or a vise and crimp it down pretty tight. And it might straighten out a little bit, but it's not really worth the headache. I got a pretty good deal on a new piece of aluminum, so angle. But we're going to save the old piece. We might reuse it. You can always be cut down in different areas, reused elsewhere, or possibly a spare if the new piece gets mangled. As you can see, I've used vice grips on both ends. They're just loosely crimped on there, just enough to hold the angle on. I'm only going to put, I think, 3, maybe 4 holes in to hold the angle up on it. That should be good enough for right now, for what we're doing. Like I said, I don't have the side skirting for it yet. I don't have a nose to get the front fenders. That's why you got a little overhang of the angle there. The front fender's gonna crimp on there, or rivet on there, but mainly just gonna do a couple of holes so I'm not wasting time on drilling a bunch of holes. If we get time, we might go ahead and drill the holes out before we get the side skirting, but let's see where we can go. Now, what some of you guys might not realize, I designed this extra space on the deck there as an extra workplace. Just a little fun tip. All right, we've been cutting some metal. We're down to making the straps. You can see I got a little butane torch here. When bending this aluminum, it can be pretty brittle, and you don't have to get it super hot, but if you warm it up just a little bit, it'll bend and you're less likely to break it. Well, we got the straps done. The angle, like I said, is kind of mocked up on this side. I just got you got 3 pop rivets on right there, and then just 2 on the back. Just enough to kind of hold them in place so we can put the angle on and the straps. And you can kind of see the car's starting to take shape. Not exactly the flat look, or let's see if we can get a better view of the back here. It's got curvature to it. Kind of gives it a little more character other than being flat and angles and all that fun stuff. It's got a little more character. We're gonna just cut one side down. We kind of had a couple of oops with the straps, nothing major. Figuring it out as we go. This is doing the front wasn't too bad because it was straight across, but these back ones kind of had to go down at an angle, and so trying to figure out the angle and lengths and all that wasn't necessarily, well, it's a little different trying to figure it out. I've never done that before, but I know next time I need to make them just a hair longer and we'll be all right. But well, I'd say if I had a modified, I'd have the body done, but still don't have the nose on. But we got about all we can get done on the body right now, or at least all that makes sense to do. We still got to set the toe on the car, put the dry shaft in, and put oil in the transmission, and check the oil in the rear end because it's been leaking. Other than that, there's not a whole lot left to do on this thing. Like I said, we got to put a nose on this thing still. And I guess if I don't hear something this week from them, I'm going to have to go with plan B or plan C to get that done this coming weekend. Virus depending, I guess is the proper virus or rain depending, I guess would be the right way to put it. Would be play day, but obviously unless something major happens this week and I'm home early, there is absolutely no way that I can make play day. So I guess if I can't get a hold of the old boy about getting my nose and bumper made by this no later than Saturday morning, I guess I'm going to go with plan B or C. And hopefully I can get that done because the following weekend, first weekend in April, is opening day. And if I want to make a run for points, I need to be there every night that I can because I do know that I am going to miss at least 2 nights, possibly 3. Just won't be available those weekends. So we'll keep you guys posted. We're going to go inside, enjoy some family time, maybe dinner, and go to bed. We got to get up in the morning and go do some trucking. But We'll catch you guys out on the road. Stay safe. God bless.